Welcome, David, to our podcast, Growth Through Positivity. So good to have you. Thank you for reaching out to be a guest. I've been following you now on LinkedIn for a while, so it's really an honor to have you. David, tell us who you are, first and last name, and your company name, and the services that you offer to hear people on LinkedIn and all over.
Hi, Ellie. A pleasure to be on the podcast. My name is David Korn. My company is called Clover Consulting. We do bookkeeping and financial management for small
Okay,
and mid-sized businesses.
very good. So, with those services that you offer, let's talk about who is your ideal customer, what size.
So my ideal customer is someone, first of all, doing revenue. Depends on the business, but doing revenue between $500,000 a year in sales up to let's say $10 or $15 million revenue. We're looking specifically for people that are very strong in sales and operations. In other words, these two departments in their business as well taken care of, and they're looking for someone to take over the entire finance responsibility. Somebody should make sure the finance is in order, which is basically the bookkeeping should be done on proper. Somebody should make sure the invoices are sent on time, the collections are done, the pricing is done well. We do invoicing, collections, accounts payable, paying the vendors, taking care of the payroll. If you need a loan, it's our job to make sure to identify enough in time that you need a loan, identify the right loan broker to help us get a loan, or banker, and help you get the loan. We liaise with your tax accountant. We don't do tax accounting in-house, but we liaise with your tax accountant to make sure your books are in the proper order and it can be filed in a timely manner.
How about like forecasting, budgeting, and those stuff?
That's also something that we do.
Okay, very good. So
if needed.
It's a full service finance function out of, like what you said. I like the way you put it, that when someone has a very strong function in sales, a very strong function of operations, to make sure that if they find themselves not being extremely strong in the finance, that they can come to you for a one-stop shop and they have the ability to know that it's in good hands. It's a phenomenal idea. I like it a lot. Me and you spoke offline earlier. I believe in your concept. And, as an EOS implementer, this is something that we touch on at the very, very beginning with the accountability chart, is to allow people to recognize that they have these three functions extremely, extremely clear and identified, and recognize what are the roles, as we call it, structure first, people second. So with that being said, how long have you been in business? And let's talk about a little bit more of some of your uniquenesses that we've mentioned already, but how people can interact in the sense of customer clients, potential clients, coming on board.
Right. So the answer to the first question is that we're in business more than 5 years, Baruch Hashem. We grew tremendously from the humble beginnings. The answer to the second question is that sorry, I got lost.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit of your uniques in the sense of currently you're working with what type of companies? Is there a specific type of industry that's more appealing to you? Is it based on a certain geographics? Are you looking to only service customers in certain areas? Let's identify a little bit more, not just based on size and scope of what you do, but more of, let's let the audience know of who are your target market people, like what industries and things like that.
Right. So we mostly service currently, I would say the vast majority of clients that we have are in the construction or service businesses. The only type of industry we don't take on is e-commerce, called Amazon, or online retail. That's something that has specific issues and specific qualifications needed. We don't do that. That's the only type of business we don't do. But we're mostly servicing service businesses, and specifically people that are strong in sales and operations, and people that want to have the finance over their head.
Very good, very good. So you're saying 5 years in business. Tell us a little bit of what you did before and what made you choose this type of work, this industry. What drove you to this career?
Right, good question. So I worked for a different number of businesses. At one point, I went working for I went to a bookkeeping company. It's a very common phenomenon, outsourced bookkeeping company. I worked there probably for a year or two. I got to know the industry, and I saw there's a need for do more than bookkeeping. My mantra of the company that we always put on advertisements and the marketing materials is more than bookkeepers. We're more than bookkeepers. What does that mean? Most of the companies just, they do their bookkeeping, they put in their numbers, they analyze your data, and they continue on. I saw there's a void in the market that needs to be that we can fill. Basically, we're doing premium bookkeeping or what I call it business financial management, which means it's not just doing the bookkeeping, carrying the responsibility to make sure your books are in order. Make sure you're making money, having projections, having a budget. Make sure the business owner doesn't take out too much money of the business. If the business needs an investor or a business loan, make sure enough in time to have it in time. The business shouldn't stop. And another focus is very much the business owner can focus, the other parts of the business that is strong at, and know that the finance is in order. Somebody's keeping track. Somebody's responsible for it. For example, another example is very common. People always ask me when I tell them what I do. They ask me, what about collections? So we do collections. We do collections, which means, if you have a customer has a bounce, we make sure to get a bounce. So people always ask me, you do collections? Yes, it is a tough task to do sometimes. But what I saw, my experience showed me that that if you work with the right customers, in other words, not everyone is your customer. If you work with the right customers that appreciate your service, and they're eerlijke people, they're honest, straightforward people, they will pay you eventually. That's the one thing. The second thing is make sure the invoice is sent on time. The invoice is very clear. It says very clearly on the invoice what you did, and usually, if you follow these steps, the invoice will be paid. Some people pay right away. Some people have to follow up with them a week or two or three, a month or two, but eventually the money will come in.
Very good. You picked on a very good topic that I want to stress on for 1 second over here, in the sense that people struggle with accounts receivable, let's call it, with getting invoices paid. That's not necessarily the real problem. The problem is maybe that there isn't clear invoicing, or it wasn't sent to the right person at the right time. Or like you said, go deeper. They're not the target market for that client. The client was maybe hungry for the sale, but didn't realize the risk and everything like that. Very, very true. Very important for young businesses and people that are going into business to really understand what is their target market. Who are the people that they should be focused in regards to prospecting to bring on board as customers. Very good. So let me ask you a little bit, touching on your vision. How many employees do you have right now? You've been in business now for 5 years. Where do you hope to take this business with a lot of Siyata Dishmaya in the next 3 to 5 years?
Right. So we currently have 6 team members, Baruch Hashem. We're growing. We'll look to hire another 1 or 2 team members at this time. Our vision, again, everything can change, as you said. It depends on the Siyata Dishmaya. We shouldn't forget about that part. But one thing that we're working very much on doing the next few years is dividing the company in different industries. Meaning to say, I want to set up teams to do, let's say, retail, one team, one group of employees. Another team work, let's say, on construction. Another team work on, let's say, wholesale businesses, professional businesses. Establish different types of teams in the company with expertise in that particular field. When a client comes, we can assign them to the right team, which has expertise in that particular industry. That way they know the ins and outs very strongly of that particular industry. So, they can deal with the most success with the clients.
Excellent. Excellent. I love the clarity on that. And you have your niche in the sense of understanding that you want to have different teams for different industries so that they talk the same language. They understand their needs and their model of that specific trade. Let's talk about what you mentioned, that you're currently a team of 6 people and you're looking to grow 6 or 16.
We're 6 at 6.
At 6 right now. Okay. And you're on the growing. So talk about a little bit your culture, your core values. If I'm looking for a job, whoever is looking for a job, and they love and they have the skill set for numbers and collections and all of your services, what type of people are you looking to engage with and invite into your organization?
Right. So number 1, very fast, the core values that we currently have are integrity, client-focused, and mission-driven. Now, if somebody thinks they're the right candidate, first of all, they can send an email, their resume. They can send their resume to hiring@clovercanhelp.com. That's hiring@clover as a plant, canhelp.com. What type of people we're looking for is very much we're looking for people that have a passion and are mission driven to help business owners gain clarity and help business owners have clarity and peace of mind knowing their finances are in order. It's not the easiest job. I always tell candidates during the job interview, that there are jobs that probably will pay more, especially in the beginning, or be more fun. This is a very consuming job, but it has a very good feeling at the end. Meaning to say, you feel very accomplished. You go home after the day, when you finish the day, that you helped a business owner gain clarity. You clean up his books. You take care of his stuff, knowing he could bring up an honest paycheck, and know his company is in order.
Yeah, very well said. Very well said. I saw a couple of your posts on LinkedIn. I felt that passion. I reached out to you. I got to know one-on-one about your services, to be able to offer it to others and to bring you onto this podcast here. So I want to thank you for coming on, and I hope others see that passion and feel the passion. Reach out to David for all of your outsourcing of any finance needs. David, share with everybody your standard basic contact info, an email address, a phone number, and we'll wrap it up.
Yes, my phone number is 845-274-1611. That's 845-274-1611. I prefer usually WhatsApp because I'm a lot on the phone. So if you send me a WhatsApp, I will respond in a timely manner. Or you can email me at david@clovercanhelp.com. Thank you so much, Ali. It was a pleasure being the first guest on this podcast.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being from the very first. And we look forward to having you back. If anybody would like to be a guest on our upcoming podcast, please reach out to us right here on LinkedIn. Send us a message, and we will direct you through the process. We look forward to having you back on another podcast on the upcoming months. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.